Alright, so let's look at the 8.4-inch Uconnect screen, and this one has the typical icons here at the bottom for radio, media, your controls, climate control. This one has navigation and your Bluetooth phone. But one of the cool things about the SRTs and the Hellcat is that it has these specific apps for this vehicle, and then you'll see a button down here that says SRT. Now, in the Scat Pack, it'll say Super Track Pack or something to that effect, but this one just says SRT. So I'm going to go ahead and push that. Alright, so it has to be in the run mode, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in run mode, so that way we can enter that. Alright, so here's what it looks like. It shows a picture of the engine, and it shows the default, which is over 700 horsepower. It's telling me over here that the red key is in use, because I do have the red key with me. Alright, so here on here, so let me just go through this here. There's a lot of different options. The SRT Pages. Let's push that. It takes a second to initialize this because it's gathering information from the different data that's in the computer. Now, this is a new vehicle, so it doesn't have a lot of information in there, but it still takes a minute to initialize. Alright, so it's showing a picture of this car exactly the way it looks, with the color, the wheels, and everything. And I'm not sure if that's a coincidence or not, but yeah, it's kind of showing exactly what this car looks like. And I like the way you can cycle through the pictures here. Alright, so it has these different buttons here. Right now we're at home. The timers, and it kind of gives you, kind of looks like pages, performance pages. So your current, what you're currently do, your last, your best, and then you can save them, I guess. Your gauges are right here. This is like a summary, so you can have this on your screen as you're driving, so you can keep an eye on your coolant, oil temperature, battery voltage, oil pressure, stuff like that. And then there's a second gauge screen, the boost pressure, air-fuel ratio, intercooler coolant temperature, and your intake air temperature. Here's your GForce Meter, which is also, this is also on your screen over there, but this one looks a little bit more detailed with the car and everything. And then the engine, this is showing your horsepower, your current torque, and your boost pressure in real time, which is pretty cool. So that's your pages. And let me go back to the screen with the engine and all that. Alright, so that's your hold on one second. Okay, so that's your performance pages. That was this button here. So now these buttons will change basically the way the setup of the horsepower and stuff. So track would be you set up a stiff suspension, and traction control is basically off, I believe, and 700 plus horsepower. Sport, you still have the 700 plus horsepower, and then you got a sport, suspension, and traction. Custom, you can customize this, so you can change the horsepower. I'm not really, custom setup. So let's see what this does here. Okay, so you can adjust the power to 700 or 500, your traction, and your suspension. And then default is right there, is the street. So I know there's the defaults. Let's go to race options. And this gives you the ability to set up launch control, and also a shift light. So I'm not going to activate anything. This is a brand new vehicle, and to activate the launch control, my understanding is there's a certain amount of mile threshold, like 500 miles or something has to pass before you can activate the launch mode in order to get the vehicle to like a certain break-in period. But anyways, let's hit launch RPMs setup, so you can fine-tune, adjust the amount of RPMs that have to happen before it will actually launch, which is pretty cool. Now it has the shift light here, and you can turn on the shift light like so, and that way it will kind of alert you as to when to shift. Now I'm pretty sure the light will appear up here when it happens, and you can set up the RPMs on your different gears, 1 through 5th and 6th gear basically. So that's pretty cool. And these are all things that you would see on a SRT and not a regular Challenger like a SXT or an RT. But yeah, it's a pleasure to be able to sit in a car like this. This has the manual transmission. That's the SRT badge over here. It's got the flat, sporty steering wheel. Amazing, amazing car. But there's a lot of things that's very similar to this than the other Challenger. So that's why I'm just showing you the highlights here on the differences. Of course, the main difference is the power of the engine, but you know, that's a different matter. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.